Yo, what is going on, guys? It is Get Scared here, bringing you guys a Destiny video here today, and it has been quite some time since I've uploaded this game. That's because I actually sold it, and this video is going to be the reasons why, if you can't tell already. So when Destiny first came out, I was largely unaware of what it actually was. I knew it was an FPS set in the future, and that it was kind of like Halo, made by the same developers kind of thing. And since I had never actually played Halo, since I've always been on the PlayStation, I was really curious to see what it was like, because Halo was always praised as being a great game, and it was also set in the future. And before this game, like before this year really, there weren't too many futuristic games. So I really wanted to try the whole thing. I think that's what really sparked my curiosity, as well as all of the hype that this game had. Like, people were talking about it like it was going to be the next big thing. So my curiosity sparked, and I decided to go out and buy it the second day after release, I think it was. And it was definitely an impulse buy on my end, because I didn't check out any reviews or anything like that. And if I had, I might have made a different decision. But even then, the game had only just launched, and I highly doubt that people knew at the time what Destiny truly was. A falsely advertised, watered-down, overly repetitive grind. A truly empty wasteland of a game with but a few redeeming qualities, ultimately drowned out by the angry cries of a player excited by his first legendary engram, only to have it become a pair of blue gauntlets that he'd already earned 100 other times. Despite my current thoughts on the game, I actually really enjoyed it at first. The early leveling of the game is really fun and rewarding, and it was really only after a month or so of owning the game, after I beat the campaign, that I realized how absurdly repetitive the game was in the extreme lack of content compared to what they advertised. Rather than the game being different when you hit level 20, as the developers said in multiple trailers, it just became a repeat of the same awful story missions over and over in order to get upgrade materials and completely randomized gear. In fact, it got to the point where I had played some missions and strikes so many times that I had all of the ghost lines memorized, and I could literally recite them at the exact same time the ghost said them. And you guys know those lines that I'm talking about, when you have to replay the same part of a mission over and over because you keep dying to those fucking enemies that have infinite health, it seems, because you're playing on a higher difficulty than you're used to. And you just keep hearing the same fucking line from that ghost, and you just want to blow his head off, if he had a head, because he's pretty much just a ball. And I don't even really know. They don't really explain him much because the story is complete shit in this game, and that leads me to my next topic, the story. Now, I'm not saying that every game has to be The Last of Us, but can your story at least make some sense? So many things went unexplained in Destiny, like, what is a ghost? What the hell is the darkness? Why are all these bad guys that are supposedly fighting for the darkness fighting each other instead in an endless civil war? And there are so many times where it seems like one of the main characters, either the Speaker of the Tower or that one robotic chick that keeps stalking you, it seems like one of them's going to actually shed some light on what the fuck's going on. And you get all excited like, oh yeah, I'm finally going to find out what's going on with the Vex, or who the hell the darkness is, or whatever. And then basically the cutscene just ends because they give you some shitty cop-out line like, I could tell you. For example, if you've seen Angry Joe's review of this game, which I'm sure all of you have, if not, I'll put it in the description below. But he actually made a little montage of all the times where the Speaker of the Tower actually says the words, I could tell you, and it's quite a few times, so it made me laugh quite a bit because it just happens like so much throughout the actual like story campaign of this game. And the actual characters themselves, like the personalities, there's basically no depth to them at all, and it's just like boring and generic. Like, you don't really like feel any emotion towards any of the characters, like the Speaker of the Tower, that one random chick that keeps following you around, or the ghost, who's basically just a glorified door opener anyway. And the missions themselves are just as generic and plain as you can possibly get, extremely repetitive, basically killing the same aliens over and over, then killing some robots, then defending your ghost, and that's basically like every single mission in Destiny, with the exception of a few that have a cutscene thrown in there, but like I said before, the cutscenes fucking suck in this game. Now, in terms of lore and the actual universe of Destiny, it seems like the game's trying to be super futuristic and sci-fi-ish, but also placing a huge emphasis on fantasy-type things like magic. And while that idea seems good on paper, it doesn't really work together in the game. A good example I found was the last mission in the game, actually, where you have to destroy the heart of the Black Garden, which is like this big black heart that's floating in the sky, and it looks super evil and stuff, and it seems like it's something that came straight out of Mordor from Lord of the Rings, or something like that, like really just evil type thing, and it's controlling robots. So you have something that's like straight out of a fantasy type thing, controlling futuristic robots. Like it just doesn't make sense, and it just feels awkward when they do it. And considering the fact that they barely explain anything too, it just makes it even worse. This leads me to my next issue with Destiny, the false advertising. Even though I never really looked into it before the release, I have gone back and seen multiple trailers, and I distinctly remember seeing one developer commentary that advertised a laughable amount of features in areas that were not in the finished game. And this ultimately just pissed me off because I realized how much better a game Destiny could have been had these features been included in the final product. Anyways, in said video, which I will leave a link to down in the description, one developer was talking about all the distant terrain on Earth, which was on screen at the time, and he was saying that any land in the distance you could see from spawn was in fact playable, which of course is not true. You guys know that obviously the maps in Destiny, like the moon and Earth and the planets, are basically just giant circles, and you can't really go to the middle of them, and obviously if you try and travel to the distant terrain, you end up falling off the map. There are many other examples throughout this video and other videos on YouTube of cuts both big and small from Destiny, and I highly recommend you guys check them out and see for yourselves. So you guys might ask, what do all these cuts mean? The following theory isn't actually mine, but it comes from a guy called B. Dobbins for the Win on YouTube. I'll leave his link below. But he definitely inspired this video. I've been a fan of him for a while now, and a lot of his videos deal with Destiny and topics like this. So definitely check him out for other videos like this and other further in-depth of topics relating to gaming and theories and stuff. But this theory, it's very believable, and it's got a lot of evidence to support it. So what happened with Bungie in the development of Destiny? Did they run out of time to finish? I highly doubt that for a number of reasons. First off, they had a big chunk of time to work with as well as a massive budget. And secondly, why would a developer talk about features in their upcoming game if they were unsure if they would actually be able to finish them in time for the game? I believe that Activision stepped in at the last minute to intentionally dumb down the game when they realized that they didn't have much competition around the release date, and to also make the game shorter so as to make players get bored sooner and more inclined to buy the DLC, which was also on the disc at launch, as well as more likely to buy Activision's next big FPS, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Now, this is mostly speculation, but I feel as if it's very likely based on the facts and evidence that lay before us. This is a signal that we should stop pre-ordering games, as the large number of pre-orders that Destiny had likely boosted Activision's confidence that they could pull this off. The whole idea behind pre-ordering is bad because you're paying for a service before the fact, and this allows games to achieve their revenue goal and get away with unfinished products. Anyways guys, thank you all very much for watching. This was my first ever scripted commentary, so I would appreciate it a lot if you guys could drop a like on it, as it did take a long time to make actually, and you guys could probably tell I actually started making this at my dad's house, and then I didn't get to finish, so I continued at my mom's house, and the sound in my room at my mom's house is different because like the room's smaller or whatever, and you guys can probably tell based on some of the transitions that I had just taken a break or whatever, drank some water, you know. And yeah, this really did take quite a bit of time, so I would really appreciate it if you guys could rate, and make sure you all have a wonderful day. I'll see you guys in the next video. Let me know what you thought in the comments as well, because this was my very first ever scripted commentary, like I said, and I want to know if you guys enjoyed it and would like to see more videos like this. But anyways, guys, take care. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.